My whole life, I always knew I was special. Even with no remainders, I could always move a decimal. Money on my mind while the girls that made un beso. Hustlers in my blood and it's running through my vessels. Just trying to clear the threshold, just trying to make a way. In my race against time, I could see an early grave. School to prison pipeline, 12 years a slave. Suspension and detention is conditioned for a cage.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Jaime Munguia stopping Ballard in the third round, and it was pretty impressive. We're going to show a little clip, hopefully the zone take it easy on us. You know what I mean? It's on Twitter, so I'm sure this is fair use because it's up on Twitter. So let's take a look. Actually, I'm going to mute this though. I don't know if y'all were able to catch that. Someone warned it real quick. So as you see, Munguia catches him with a left hook. He staggers him. Got him against the ropes. He's unleashing a flurry. Ballard hits the canvas. He's considering like, man, what should I do? He looked at his corner like, come on, man. Look at his eyes, though. Look at his eyes.
He didn't want no punch.
He knows what's coming out. But see, the heart of it, he still got heart. He's standing in there. And Munguia's unleashing the combo, landed that right hand, a jab, left hook. And now you see he's hurt. The referee jumps in. Look at his eyes. And so the referee calls the fight. $1 bill, I'm going to turn it over to you. What was your reaction to Munguia stopping Ballard?
Like we said when we was in the studio yesterday. Yeah, we know what's going to happen. But Munguia did what he was supposed to do, and now it's time for a name. It's time for a name now. I like how they moved this kid, and we're starting to see that he was learning on the job, and they moved him right. And what is it, 39-0 now with 31 KOs. Yeah, it's time to put him in there with a name. They want to put him in there with a world champion. I said, not yet, not just yet. And that's why I was sitting there. I was talking to G when we was off. I said I was going to throw him a bone here because, gave Wilder a hard time for his resume. Right? The same people, the cab drivers and stuff that he fought to help build him up. That's how I feel like they did with Munguia. But Munguia, the difference from that, he's learning new things. He's not just working on one thing. He's been working on a lot of things, So I think it's time for names. And two names that came to my mind, they're not champions, but they're good names, is the Reverenchenko at 160 and Chris Eubank Jr. at 160. I think that those would be two good fights to test the young man. And I think that those fights can be made. I think those fights would be good stepping stone, not just to throw him in there with one of these world champions just yet, because there's still things that, I see that he got to work on. But other than that, the young man's been doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's beating the guys that they put in front of him, and he's getting better.
All right. I'm going to turn it over to Conspiracy G.
Man, I got a whole perspective on Montreal. I'm actually upset, and I kind of feel this is a tad bit disrespectful. But I felt like he beat the wrong Demetrius. He should have beat you know what I'm saying? I just felt like that was
beat the wrong Demetrius.
He beat the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? He was the mandatory for Boo Boo for some months, and he chose to ignore homie. Now he waited for Demetrius to lead the division, and now all of a sudden he want to fight another Demetrius. I don't like it. I just, it's the Conspiracy G in me. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it was a cute performance. It was a cute performance.
We need a dish, G. We need a dish.
Man, listen. I don't know what this to me. Ned, see, I was gonna say it was soul food till that was like that last name seemed German, and then looking at him, I was like, he might be. I don't know what he is. You know what I'm saying?
He's from B-more.
You know,
From Baltimore.
Yeah, we need a soul food dish, dog. We need a soul food dish.
Man, we were eating like
mambo sauce, yo. The mambo sauce, yo. So like that's like everything. That includes like the DMV, yo. So that's that mambo sauce, yo, on the wings. Mambo wings.
Shout out to everybody in the DMV.
What's the dish from B-more? I know they love seafood over there. Give me a dish. Yo, Ned's my junior chef.
I just said some mambo sauce wings, yo. That's it, yo. That's what they love out there, man.
Well, you see, Munguia was playing with his mambo sauce wings for like 2 rounds before he ended it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still not impressed. You should not have been eating Baltimore food. You should be eating some Cape Verdean food. But it is what it is, man. So yeah, Munguia, enjoy your cute victory.
All right, we're gonna turn over to junior chef Nedris.
Nah, McGee did what he had to do, yo. Yeah, like I feel he's at 25. He's had a lot of fights, and the only notable name is what's the homie's name? I got it right here.
Saddam Ali.
Nah, what's his name? Gabriel Rosado.
Saddam Ali is a notable name too. So Gabe Rosado and Saddam Ali.
Saddam Ali.
Some people will argue Saddam Ali is a more notable name.
Yeah.
At this point, he got a victory over Cotto.
Yeah.
At this point, at 25, it's time for him to make some noise. Like, yo, go get you a belt, go take over and like let people know who you are. Like you know. But Jaime, I love what you do, man. Yeah. It's entertaining boxer. Great victory. You know, you stopped the guy who you were supposed to stop, and I want to see him take on any of the guys, top 5, top 10 in the middleweight division. So I know Boo Boo just left, but what is it? Ryo? I know Triple G and Maruta, whatever. I don't know how to say his name.
Murata, I think.
Murata. They're supposed to fight, and I would like to see him take on the winner of that fight. That would be a good match. And
FYI, Triple G is currently involved in a 2-fight deal offered to Canelo Alvarez that he verbally agreed to, which we're going to get into later. But go ahead.
Yeah, I like to see him fight any of the. Then Murata, it is, man. I like to see him take on Murata. I ain't even going to try to say his first name.
Eubank Jr., man. You know what I'm saying?
Or Chris Eubank Jr. or any of the guys in the top 10. And take them all out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 till they get to you, man. Till you number 1, take them all out, man. Because you had so many fights now at 25. I want to see you take out all the guys in the top 10 at this point. Be an assassin. Put on for your country, man. Tijuana, yo.
Yeah, you know, to me it was a good victory. Not impressive, and here's lies the difference. When so impressive, career-defining victory, it was not. Right, but good victory in the sense that it showed some things. It showed improvement on Jaime Munguia's behalf. He was more measured. He was more calculated in his punches. He showed good head movement at one point. At one point, Ballard threw a series of punches and Munguia weaved them all, which was something we haven't really seen from Munguia, which shows that he's learning new things and he's starting to look better. Munguia showed great timing and good punch placement in this fight. And he ended up stopping Ballard, which is a legitimate victory. Ballard is a solid fighter, but again, is he upper echelon? Is he one of those guys who we thought was going to become a champion? Is he on the level of a champion? Absolutely not. But it was a good victory in the sense that he did what he was supposed to do with a decent fighter, and he showed new wrinkles to his game. So he showed improvement. He's 25 years old, so I understand wanting to rush people, but for everyone who's saying those things, you got to look at Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis wasn't thrown in with the Lions immediately. That was Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion in the world. Mike Tyson was the one taking on elite level competition at the age of 19, 20. Lennox Lewis was fighting, building himself up, perfecting his craft. And it wasn't until later on where Lennox Lewis started to take on the bigger names and then end up taking over the division. We have a video about that on this channel. You can pull that video up. I forget the title of it, but it really breaks down the progression. Mike Tyson was really elite and really ready for the elites in his division early on in his career. Lennox had to develop, and then later on, Lennox took over the division. So I say that to say fighters mature differently. So some fighters are ready right out of the gate. Some fighters have to still have things to learn, still have things to perfect. And then, so by time Lennox and Tyson fought, Lennox was peaking or at his peak and Tyson was on the decline. And that's what happens in boxing sometimes. And that's why you hear people saying, oh, well, this person waited until this person was, you look at Pacquiao Mayweather. Pacquiao was younger than Floyd. Floyd's older than Manny Pacquiao. But by the time they fought, some people made the argument that, oh, Pacquiao was on a decline and Floyd was still. Look, there's no perfect time. I know people like to say people waited for the right time. At the end of the day, it's about your skill set versus the other person's skill set and what happens when you meet in the ring. Munguia is 25. I know some people would love to see him in there with the Demetrius Andrades of the world, would love to see him in there with Jamal Charlo, would love to see him in there with these guys, but maybe he's not ready yet. He's a young guy. He's 25 years old. And although you're watching someone who appears physically ready, someone who appears this maturity matters too. Psychologically and whether they feel that this person's ready for those things. So with that being said, I do think that he looked good. He showed wrinkles. Chris Eubank Jr., I think, would be a great fight. I think they should consider Derevianchenko. I feel like he would beat Derevianchenko at this point, looking at Derevianchenko in his last fight. I think like 2 years ago would have been a good fight. But I think now Derevianchenko's on like a decline. But I think Chris Eubank Jr., because it's a tough test for both of them. This is a step-up fight for both of them. This is one where it's like, okay, Eubank Jr., let's see you dance against him. And this is one like Munguia. Let's see you look this confident and this relaxed against him. This is going to tell us a lot about both fighters. And if Andrade is really moving up, then his title is going to be vacant. So make them two fight each other for it. I think that's a beautiful fight brought to you by the Boxing Bros. So WBO, you know where you heard it. Make it happen.
Give us our passes. In the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.
Now you sleeping?
We can't even hear you, bro. He's sleeping.
I was reading something. No, I was reading something. My bad.